Hey there, everybody. Dave here. Still getting everything set up. Appreciate you being here. I do. What a absolute crap fest of a game. It is, and I need to switch screens. Let's go over here. And we are here. Take this off. Don't need that. Tracer XS. This looks like a team coached by Les Steckel. Well, yeah, it sort of does, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Hey, George, how you doing? Yeah, I agree with the emojis. Cody fired him. It's pathetic. Hey, there's questions about him, that's for sure. Why he hasn't pulled Wentz, I have no idea. He's obviously hurt. He's not playing well. It's garbage. Garbage. But, oh well. We dropped to 4-3. Or going to. Still waiting on the to get to the 2-minute warning. I believe we're not there yet. Yeah, we are there. So let's hit the roll-in. Welcome to Vikings First and SKOLs, live at the 2-minute warning. Next. Brian says, not sure if they can work on tackling during the season, but they need to. It would help. It would help. Anything would help. We're at the 2-minute warning. The Vikings trail 34-10, which is crazy. The Chargers are about to punt, I believe. This is just absolutely garbage for a game. Why continue to send Wentz out there? Why? Yeah, I agree, Remmer. I agree. Dust Devil 2, and this has sucked. It was one of the worst. No, they're not going to punt. They're going to kick a field goal. And they're going to make it 37-10. Yes. The irony is they signed 2 top offensive linemen and spent 2 draft picks on one. And the line is the worst I've seen. I don't know about the worst. It's bad, but I don't know about the worst. There's been some bad O-lines. Vikings trail. Sounds like an identity. Oh, it sure does. And they trail from the get-go. They're chasing the score, as usual, as Drewster says. And when you chase the score, you have a harder time to win. Now, they possibly could have gone up early if New York hadn't called that a no-catch by Isaiah Rodgers. But, hey, with the way they were playing, even if they did, I don't think it would have changed much. It was bad. Bad. They are, it's a bad game. Without a doubt. KOC is guilty of elder abuse with Carson Wentz. Hey, maybe Carson's asking to stay in. I don't know. Maybe he's wanting to play him until he, can't play no more. And guess who's coming in? Carson Wentz. Why? No. All right, it's Max Brosmer. Good. At least we get something exciting to watch. The new kid with nothing to do. What? Has the league solved flow? Now, that's a great question, Rimmer. So, Doc, Dustin, KOC to eat some crow for his game plan, as well he should. I believe all out. All right. Brosmer's back in shotgun. Motions. Takes a snap. Drops back. throws it, completes it. All right. First throw, first completion. All right. Give him that. Unlike Wentz's behind Aaron Jones pass. Yes. Yes. Brosmer, TD and 30. Yes. Then we got flags flying everywhere for some reason. Somebody moved or something. Minute 52, fourth quarter. Vikings trail 37-10. We only need 27 points to tie. Let 22-19 walk, cut 97, 93, trade 87, restructure 75. Josh, already working on next year's plan. Anthony says this is revenge for not hiring Harbaugh. Well, could be. Oh, come on, Adam. Brosmer threw it right in his gut, and he dropped it. He just dropped it. You got to be kidding me. Penalties did kill us tonight, Chevy. They sure did. Brian says defense played well, need to contain QB and tackle better. Yeah, and stop making penalties. All right, here we go. He hands off the ball. Yeah, we get about 6 yards. All right. The lack of discipline from this squad is unacceptable. It is. And penalties are generally blamed on the coach for discipline reasons. And if a player can't stop, then they get rid of the player. What's up, Sal? How you doing? I got something to tell you about later. I'll DM you. Thielen has dropped every pass from Brosmer. Yeah, they lost. You like the title? All right. And here we go. All right. Looks like a first down. Completed pass. It's good to see you though, Sal. It is great. Great to see you. Yeah, it's bad, Sal. It's bad. Bad. And then we see the savior on the sideline. J.J. McCarthy get his first start against the Detroit Lions here in 10 days or so, 9 days. All right, another pass, another completion. Why didn't KOC pull Wentz before? Same pass rush. Yes, the schedule has been rough. I agree. The back-to-back overseas and then the Eagles game. Yes. All right, here we go. Another first down. Now, I'm sure putting in Brosmer, he would have gotten a tougher defense, but we really need to stop after out TD. Well, so we're ready to chop this season up, are we, Bryson? He is. Hey, there's still 10 games to go. Theoretically, we could win all 10. Yeah. Theoretically. Me for coach of the year, I don't think so. There's not enough bourbon in the States for that. Yes. Oh, yes, Sal. Only 2 games at noon. I agree. The schedule's horrible. And it is final. Your Vikings lose 37-10. Wow. Pathetic. Have a good night, but time to hit the hay. Well, sweet dreams, MGF Sports Cards. I hope You will. Sally ain't winning shit. I just said it was mathematically theoretical. I mean, it could happen. I doubt it will, but it could. I wish we could play the Jets twice. Why? So we could split with them? Yes, Biggs. Look at Max hit pass after pass. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yes, Freddie, why did KOC keep him in? Because he wants to punish him. I'm convinced. The Kool-Aid is spilled. Cut Wentz. Unacceptable. KOC has to take a long, hard look in the mirror. Yes, he does. Chevy wins on dead receivers. Ron Rubin, they're tanking. I doubt they're tanking, but we'll see. Maybe get those draft picks up there. Josh, anyone else losing faith in O'Connell? I'm not personally. I think he's a very good coach, but we'll see. I mean, there was a lot of plays where wide receivers were open, just Wentz doesn't see them, and that's that. I think the only person said it wasn't good, a good team, and everyone was mean to me for it. All you said was 9-8. Sal, you're right, as usual. That's just it. I'm going to bring in Darren real quick. Hey there, buddy. You see, we got a Sal in the house with us, too.
Yeah. Oh, good to see her, or at least see her virtually here.
Yeah, if she wants, I'll send her the link. She can join.
We can have a pity party here.
That pick six that got reversed would have changed the game script much.
It could have, Freddie. I mean, it's hard to believe that based on what we saw from the defense tonight, but it's possible that the pick six, 3 plays into the game and the Chargers are throwing a pick six, maybe things turn out differently, but it's hard to. But the Vikings only stopped the Chargers once from not attempting either a field goal or scoring a touchdown tonight. But I don't know, maybe that would have made a difference. That we were talking about this. I don't know if you already got to it, Dave, but we were talking about this online while we were watching the game with our little group. But I imagine KLC will get some questions about this, but I really thought Wentz should have been out of the game like 3 drives before they took him out. Not just because he wasn't playing very well, but I think that he just he could not protect himself, and he was getting hit a lot by the offensive line. Obviously his whole left side is killing him. I think that was impacting. He's not the most accurate guy anyway. I think that was impacting his throws, and he just kept, and then he got banged on the hand with the helmet. That probably doesn't help his throwing at all. I just feel that Kevin O'Connell kind of let him hang out to dry there at the end, and probably he's hurt even worse now and might not be able to suit up as the backup next game and that's assuming JJ McCarthy is ready to play against Detroit in.
Oh, he should be.
He should be, but I have I just don't know what to believe anymore. Or so, yeah, that was. I really think that he shouldn't have been out there physically.
No, I think KOC should have pulled him, but that's what it is. I think he's going to run him into the ground just because he can. It's just, he's a rental and he wants to use it that way. Daniel says, time to get drunk to erase this game. I picked a bad night to go dry.
Yeah, I don't know where, offensively, at least you could say that, well, when McCarthy gets back, there's something to watch there, the development, and see him progress. But I don't know where the defense goes from here, Dave. It's what we saw tonight with all of the way they just got told. Last week, they did a really good job stopping the run, but it didn't end up mattering because they got torched by the pass. Tonight, it was both. pass
Right.
and run, and so many missed tackles. You think that they got him held up, and then they miss a tackle. Somebody doesn't bring him down, and Vidal is off, or he makes a jump cut, and we don't set the edge, and he's gone. And then offensively, the Chargers wide receivers were like wide open all night. I don't know what. And Flores is trying different things. He had Batty in there, then he had Richter in for a few, then he's putting McLaughlin in there in the third quarter and just trying to find something that worked, and nothing worked. And the pass rush just could not. Once again was a failed badly. They couldn't get to Herbert very much, and when they did get to him, they couldn't seem to. Herbert was very easily avoided the pass rush and scooted out and scrambled for a whole bunch of yards. And I don't know where they go from here. Like, Goff isn't going to be able to do that, but you have a hard time believing that the Vikings are going to be able to stop the Lions at all with the way they played tonight.
I severely doubt it, but we'll see. Now time to bring in Tyler. Get your video done already, buddy?
I did. Man, this team is really frustrating to watch. My biggest takeaway is we really don't know what the hell this team is right now. Kevin O'Connell, I think we're going to look back on the film and realize Kevin O'Connell called a pretty decent game, but Carson Wentz just can't do anything. And it's gotten worse as that shoulders progressively got worse. He's not comfortable in the pocket. He's scared of getting hit. He's not seeing the field well at all. And it's becoming catastrophic in so many ways. When you have to simplify.
Why didn't KOC pull him?
My theory is this. We don't want to ruin Max Brosmer. And we just got to get through this, and then we'll have JJ McCarthy back. Whether we agree with it or not, that's what I think. I'm hoping that he gets asked that question during the post game and we get an answer on it. Because let me tell you, Sal makes a really good point. Like, that offensive line was awful. Brandel at center is not working. Obviously, you don't want SKOL and Rouse starting or playing at all, and they're having to play pretty much the entire game. Darrisaw went on after the second drive. It was why I say we don't really know what this team is because we haven't seen them anywhere close to full power. We haven't seen them with the starting quarterback. Look, I know it's a joke that like Ruin Brosmer, undrafted free agent, but he was dynamite in the preseason, earned a roster spot. Like, they like him a lot.
He was dynamite when he came in.
Yeah, and if one of the really tough parts, and we talked about this with JJ McCarthy, you have to know their mental fortitude and how they can handle failure. I don't know Brosmer, I don't know McCarthy, and I've been very steadfast about that, but they do. And putting Brosmer behind that offensive line when he's never gotten any meaningful snaps in the NFL is bad practice. It's a bad process. I even said it toward the end of the game.
But sometimes it has to be done.
I even kind of went with that as I was trying to say at the end of the game. Like, you know what? Maybe you just got to try it because you got to try and do something. And Wentz looks like he's about to have his arm amputated. He's in so much pain. I just don't know where you go from here. Do you try to make a big move at the deadline? Do you try to get somebody who can change this defense? Do you try to get a cornerback? I don't know who you can trade for. Almost all the cornerbacks that you could have traded for have signed big extensions. So it's not like there is a wealth of talent that you can acquire. There's also, hey, do you maybe try to get a Quinnen Williams who can be a huge difference maker on the interior? Or do you just say, you know what, screw it. If you want to come and take some of the veterans off of our roster that probably won't be here next year, we'll sell. We'll take a couple extra draft picks and we'll try and build up the youth of this roster and see what we can do. I don't know what this team is right now because they are playing at such a disadvantage. And Brian Flores against great quarterbacks continues to be just this giant mystery box. I will say, before I absolutely eviscerate the Vikings
Herbert
defense,
wasn't fooled tonight.
Justin Herbert was fantastic. He was maneuvering, like, it's not even his best trait. He was maneuvering the pocket, evading pressure, and then he's so strong and built thick that he can just go through arm tackles and be able to make pressure not really impact him. And then all of a sudden, hey, there was one play early in the game, he's escaping the pocket and he starts moving a little bit to the right. And I think it was Blake Cashman follows him a couple steps. Well, then he throws back against the grain and he's got a wide open lane to, I think, Ladd McConkey for a first down. Those little details is what separates him from being like, it makes him a great quarterback. And he's able to handle that pressure. He's able to find guys. And right now, the Vikings don't have the dudes play man coverage. They just don't. And they need to be able to play man coverage because some of this zone stuff just isn't working. Some of it is. I thought they got screwed on the Isaiah Rodgers interception. And I think something mentally with this team just collapsed at that point. Because all of a sudden, hey, you went 3 and out, or maybe it was 6 and out on that first drive. Then you get a pick six. It's like, okay, this rocks. And then it got overturned. Maybe I didn't see it well enough on my TV, but I didn't see any evidence where it should have been overturned. To me, it looked like one of those calls that it just should have stayed what it was on the field. I didn't see any overwhelming evidence either way. But at that point, it felt like the whole thing deflated because then they allowed this long touchdown drive over almost 8 minutes long. And then felt like the game was just over at that point. Nobody was making plays. Jefferson was super pissed. Darrisaw going out after second drive was just brutal. The run game had a 0% success rate going into the fourth quarter, which they had the 6th best success rate on the ground at 45% going into this game. Just, they got to do not just a lot of soul searching. They got to do a lot of scheme searching too. It's bad, but theoretically, JJ McCarthy coming in should help quite a bit. But then again, McCarthy was bad for 7 quarters in his first 2 starts. So some of that was on him. Some of it wasn't. But how much is he actually going to come in and help? That's a really big question.
Yep, but he's the guy you drafted. You've got to play him.
Oh, no. I'm not arguing that you shouldn't play him. You absolutely should. You got to find out what you have. I'm talking about how much does he help your team right now? I don't have an answer. I can't tell you yes or no.
A whole lot.
Especially not if you're down to your 2 starting tackles.
Right. And going against Detroit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Seifert wrote, that'll do it for the second worst loss in the Kevin O'Connell era.
What was the worst? The Cowboys lost at home?
The 40-3 Cowboys.
That was ugly.
Oh. Have to assume JJ returns next week for better or for worse.
Yeah, you just gotta let it ride.
Right. People shouldn't expect that McCarthy's going to come in there and the offense is going to be vastly, or even is going to be vastly better than it has been, or even a whole, even maybe slightly better. I don't know, but there could be a lot of rough moments there too. But yeah, like you guys, I agree. You gotta ride through it, and he's got to play.
Mm-hmm. It's bad. Now, losing 2 games in a row. What were we? Week 7 and 8?
Second straight year you lost both games in a row coming out of the bye.
Yeah.
Second year in a row was a home noon game and then a Thursday night game too.
Puts you at less than about 13% to make the playoffs, 12%.
Really?
Well, they should probably make it 0% because that's what I feel is their chances of making the playoffs, even at 3 and 4. I mean, this team's in big trouble.
This team is in huge trouble, and the Vikings haven't made the playoffs in back-to-back years since 08-09.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Does Aiden Hutchinson break high, former teammate, in 2 weeks?
I think break his former teammate.
Yeah. Could be.
and 2 next week. Yeah, well, it's going to be on like the one thing that hopefully McCarthy has learned to, like like O'Connell said about the power of completions thing, and living with the check downs and that sort of thing when the down and distance situation isn't really in your favor, but that's better than holding on to the ball for 5 seconds and then getting sacked and getting a strip sack. Like, hopefully he's learned a bit from that, and that, that's what I felt today. Brosmer would have been able to do when Wentz was clearly physically just shot, where, you don't really, best case, you don't really want to put him in there as an undrafted rookie free agent, even though he played lots of college ball at New Hampshire, though it was. But I felt that he would have got the ball out really quick, like he usually does. And maybe that would have led to a lot of 3 and outs or 6 and outs too. But he wouldn't have got killed himself, and Wentz wouldn't have been getting completely obliterated and hurting himself even more. People might not care about that because Wentz is a 1-year rental, but I just don't think it was right for him to get fucked like that in the fourth quarter, like he was, when he clearly shouldn't have been out there. And Brosmer's going to get the ball out in about 2 seconds, just like he did on that final drive.
So this came from Ryan Burns, who covers the Gophers for 24/7. His theory is that KOC wants nothing to do with the UDFA rookie quarterback outplaying the first-round QB who can't stay healthy. That's an interesting conspiracy theory. I just think that he didn't want to put him behind that offensive line and let him fail, because more talented quarterbacks have failed in really bad spots in their first time out. There was a story, I think it was the 49ers, Steve Mariucci, they drafted Giovanni Carmazzi, the lefty from Hofstra, 99, in the 3rd round. They loved him, and he took 1 hit in the preseason, and his career was over. Not because of like medical stuff. He was just cooked. He was done. He couldn't do it. And I'm wondering if they were trying to prevent something like that. That's the only thing I can think of, because Wentz was unplayable today. He was atrocious on so many levels.
And thus, why didn't KOC pull him? And maybe it is that conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Sal makes a good point in the chat that the announcers were ripping Wentz for crying. Like, I'm sorry. If you're in pain and you're crying, I don't care. Like, that's fine. That dude, his shoulder is probably 7 degrees of effed up. Like, I'm sorry if he wants to cry because he just got absolutely obliterated. Who cares, man? Who cares? Like, focusing on him and then talking about it. It's just, that's so low rent.
Sal also said they were completely lucky last year with the injury bug. This year, it's caught up with a vengeance.
They were pretty lucky last year. Going into the playoffs, they were pretty much healthy outside of Darrisaw, and they were able to mitigate the Darrisaw loss because Sam Darnold was a magician in the pocket, and eventually everything just caught up to him and it just collapsed. This year, man, it's been brutal, but not having consistency at quarterback is the number one, because I guarantee you, if you have consistency at quarterback, this team only has 1 or 2 losses. I think I said it last week, they're 6-0 with consistency at quarterback. Like, you're not asking for greatness. You're not asking for a top 5, top 8 kind of guy. Consistency. Solid play. Make the read, throw the ball. Mm-hmm. You do that against the Eagles, you probably score 4 or 5 touchdowns. Like, and I'm not kidding. Those were there for the taking. Consistent quarterback play is also the hardest thing in the NFL to find. It's also why, for years and years, the Vikings never moved on from Kirk Cousins, because of this exact thing. And I'm not defending keeping Kirk Cousins. I think they made the right move. They identified their guy and they went with it. It's not working out so far because he got hurt. But this is why teams don't move on from a Kirk Cousins, because solid quarterback play that's pretty consistent is very hard to find, even if it doesn't elevate you to another level. And right now the Vikings are going through that. Will it get fixed this year? Please God, I hope so. But we just don't know that right now.
Hope is not a plan.
You got to see something from McCarthy. You need to. Otherwise, the PR with this team is going to go bad real fast because Darnold is playing at an MVP level and Daniel Jones is playing out of his mind. I don't blame them for losing Daniel Jones. He would have been able to compete for the starting job, but he was never guaranteed anything. He had a much better chance in Indy. He did the right thing. Darnold, if the money was equal, I don't blame him for like going to Seattle, but he would have been the guy for at least a little bit. But if he were to falter, it would have taken it from him. So,
yeah. And that's why if you're Darnold, you don't want any part of that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're always going to be looking over your shoulder because the top, the McCarthy's there. He's the franchise future of the franchise. And you have 2 bad games and you get pulled. Darnold went to a situation where he isn't going to get pulled because there's nobody behind him who can threaten him. And still, I do not. We'll see how it turns out, but I was on board with what the Vikings did in the offseason with the quarterback situation, and I'm still on board despite we have to look more than just these 7 games. You got to look 2, 3 years, 4 years down the road. And hopefully McCarthy will be the guy a year and a bit from now. We'll be saying, remember when we were all freaking out about McCarthy and from
your lips to Odin's ears, buddy.
And now look at him. That's we may have to deal with the next 2 or 3 games. Who knows with McCarthy in there? I expect there'll be struggles, but he's got to play through it. And at some point in time, as he works through that and gets the coaching and experiences some success, but and overcomes some of the failures on the field, it'll hopefully it clicks for him. It might be game 12 of this season or game 13, or maybe even a little bit later. But as long as it happens, no guarantees, but that's why he's got to play.
Mm-hmm. Yep, without a doubt. All right, Darren, what are we talking about Saturday on 2 Old Bloggers?
Well, we're going to be talking about a few things that this week in Vikings land, a couple of topics like Javon Hargrave, I think he played more snaps tonight, but his role seems to be decreasing on the defense a little bit. Could be playing circumstances because they seem to be. But another thing is also TJ Hawkinson, whose really production has taken a big time hit so far this season because of the offense's failures. Is that something to be worried about? Also going to be talking about the kid glove treatment with KOC and McCarthy and why I know that's going to frustrate a lot of people, but I think that I can see where KOC's coming from that, and that the plan that he has, and talking a bit about why that plan I think is still a good one, despite Vikings fans being frustrated and thinking he should have played 2 weeks ago.
Oh, interesting. Jalen Redmond had another good night.
I love Jalen Redmond. Top 10 Viking right now.
I know. Another guy caught my eye sort of tonight. I think a lot of things were going wrong. He missed some tackles, but I thought Tyler Batty really hustled out there, and towards the end,
penalties, I thought.
Yeah, he did, but he was hustling out there, showing more effort than some guys. That's all I got as far as good stuff for tonight.
Speaking of effort, Dallas Turner, he was when one of the runs by Herbert, he was right behind him. All he had to do is dive and could have tackled him. And he turned up field and took a deeper angle on it. And I'm like, why are you doing that? You've got speed.
And was he trying to force Herbert to cut back or go flow into the Vikings defense in a different way?
No. Mm-mm. Herbert.
I remember that play too, Dave, and I thought, yeah, that's an odd angle that Turner's taking there.
Did he get stage fright from that blatant targeting from earlier in the game?
Maybe, but he wouldn't have targeted him on this tackle. But yes, that was a blatant penalty.
No, he still went after Herbert on the sideline there. Was it in the fourth quarter or late third quarter? And held off and didn't hammer him, which would have resulted in another 15-yard penalty. So I don't know about that. But it was an odd way he went to not tackle Herbert on that play. Anyway, it was just one play and lots of bad plays in the game. So
now, hopefully McCarthy knows who Jalen Nailor is. I know that's a fact. So Jalen Nailor can get some attention rather than just doing cardio every week.
And if McCarthy gets in there, we know that he built up a pretty good rapport with Jordan Addison in training camp and in the off season. And we'll see if that helps him because, of course, the first two games he played, there was no Jordan Addison. So I don't know.
Big Moines been a fan since 65. This is the worst. I don't know about the worst.
Ooh.
We're Vikings fans. It can always get worse.
We've had worse seasons.
Worse than Les Steckel? I find that hard to believe.
I don't know. 2010 might be the worst season I've ever watched because of what the expectations were and how they just cratered. And then, of course, at the end of the year, the Metrodome cratered, which was just
fitting.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just perfect.
Green G-Mac. Jeff Okudah is a quarterback for us. That's sad. He plays great in the preseason. G-Mac. Oh, well. Folks, any last words?
We didn't even get to the defense, man. If they can't get pressured, they got nothing. This defense is bad if they can't get pressured. I mean, we knew it last year, but it's worse this year. Safeties are out of position. Josh Metellus isn't doing a rover roll anymore. He's just playing a deep safety. He's playing a way more traditional role. That's not why you pay him. You pay him because he's a jack of all trades and you use him that way. Harrison Smith might be absolutely washed. Jeff Okudah is I loved the idea. It has not worked. He sucks. If they took two corners in the first four picks this upcoming April's draft, I wouldn't be shocked. Now, it's not always all their fault. Like Kyrie Jackson passed away, Mekhi Blackman got hurt, and then he's got the 2 interceptions, but he's just been okay in Indy. Yeah, you've had some bad luck at corner. You got to try and find a way to remedy it. Like this group needs Andrew Van Ginkel back bad. Somebody in the comments was saying I should admit that Dallas Turner's a bust. Why? He's 22 and a half years old, and he's playing the role exactly how Brian Flores wants it to be played. That's not a bust just because he's not getting a bunch of sacks. That's not the role he's being asked to play. Like they got to figure something out with this pressure.
Well,
and having Van Ginkel back will go a long way.
Hopefully Greenard, after his ankle injury, came back in and played, but hopefully tomorrow it's not. We're hearing from KOC that, he came in, it was sore. We MRI'd it. He's out for the season or something like that.
He walked off the field.
He walked off the field and came back on and played.
And then they kept him out, right? He was on the sidelines looking like, I want to get back in there, and he was not back in there.
I saw him come back in for a bit. But
I don't think he was back in there long, but they took a lot of guys out there the last little bit, which was probably wise. No need to take any more hits when you're down 34-10, and then 37.
And we're injured enough.
Yeah.
the injury bug can go away.
Yeah, Dave, I don't know if it's going to.
Especially
Especially when you
find an exterminator for it.
Yeah, no, but especially when you're taking all the punches and not giving them out, like tonight. We got completely bullied and shoved around, and the Chargers did everything they wanted to do to us physically and everything else. And it's going to be a lot of sore Vikings players after this game, sore physically, even more than normal, because the Chargers beat us up.
Mm-hmm. So, Tyler, you got anything left?
And I want to watch the All-22 because...
Do you?
Yeah. I'm getting real sick of people calling KOC a bad play caller. He's doing what he can with what he's got. And if you watch back that Eagle game, he was great. He's setting stuff up. And we even talked about it on the pregame show earlier where like the second one, third and one, fourth and one, only one of those play calls was like questionable. And I think one of them was a check. And I didn't mention that at the time. The fader out to Justin Jefferson, Dave, that was probably a run that was checked into a pass because he's like, oh, Jefferson against the slot corner? I got to take that. Like, it's results don't mean it's bad process. Bad players can ruin good process. And the Vikings played too many bad players tonight. It's as simple as that. Yeah, a lot of frustrating stuff, and thank God we get college football. And the final weekend of the CFL this weekend, Darren, I need my Blue Bombers to get a win and the Stampeders to lose so they don't have to go over and play in the East playoff bracket. I don't want to face Montreal and Davis Alexander.
Well, it's the most good times when the CFL gets into the playoff season. That's when I start paying attention.
I love the CFL. I can watch football without having to think about it. It's just a joy.
Yeah, well, it was a time when the quarterback play seemed to be a whole lot better in the CFL than it is these days.
It's because the NFL's okay with short quarterbacks now.
Correct. And African-American quarterbacks.
That too. My boy Warren Moon, 5-time Grey Cup champion, baby.
He wasn't the only one. There's names I'll be Conrad Holloway, Chuck Ely. These aren't household names to Americans, but they played in the U.S. in big college programs. Conrad Holloway was a big guy at University of Tennessee. There's lots of examples of that. Roy DeWalt, I could go on. They were like awesome in the CFL and never got a shot in the NFL, but they would today.
Still surprised Anthony Calvillo never got a real shot in the NFL. That dude won like what, 3 or 4 Grey Cups with Montreal. Good football player. And
his coach ended up, Tressman ends up going to the Bears and never brought Calvillo along with him. I think it was because his arm was never really the strongest, but no. He knew
Calvillo at that point was also like 36.
Mm-hmm.
So then they just traded for Jay Cutler. So
yeah.
But yeah, lots of stuff.
Yeah. Dicey Mixer, I have a question about the defense too. Hopefully they'll come out with more fire next week.
Yeah. Well, they better, or else they're going to be losing. Detroit's going to put a 50 burger on them, and Jahmyr Gibbs is going to run for 300 yards.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be brutal. I think everybody should go and join the Discord right now, though.
Yes,
go in the show notes, join the Discord, and I think we might try to do some All-22 streams at some point, but that will be for YouTube members only. And we may do it in Discord, we may do it on YouTube. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll do something. And I think it'll be a good time.
What do we say, gentlemen?
I need a beer.
Yes, SKOL Vikings.
Everybody, thanks for joining us. Especially you, Sal. It's good to see you.
Yes.
SKOL Vikings. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell and share this episode with your friends and even your enemies. We'd love it. Thanks for watching Vikings First and SKOL. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network, and we appreciate each and every one of you. SKOL.